You got Bitcoin?
No. Yeah, actually, I have four. Do you want one?
You interested in learning about crypto?
Teach me some.
Hex.com right here. You can earn interest on your crypto.
Can you teach me something in a minute right now?
Acquire Hex tokens, go back to that contract, stake those tokens, and you'll earn more of them. And you could earn, a lot over a short time period.
Hex.com. That's yours? That's like your website?
No, it's not mine, but it's what I'm a part of. So hex.com/links will give you all of the community websites that have been created as tools to help you learn about hex.com.
Alright. It's really smart of you to use Omegle to run into people and talk to them.
Hey everybody, it's EcoBuilder here with the Hex community. Let me light this candle because we're in green candle season. So I've got a few things on my mind that I want to get out. And this is a Tuesday night. It's 6:30 in the evening over here in Central Texas time. And I need to do another video in order to get this out to the Austin folks because I'm an organizer over at meetup.com. Not often do I show up, and I capture these videos and forward them over to the folks. So this will be in your email if it is that you subscribe to emails. We've got something like 70 people in the group. I think it's grown a bit more here in the later times with the bull coming around. So I'm going to go over some tools that you could use, some tools that I thought about real fast, and then at some point in this, I'm going to talk about some personal messages that I've gotten from people inside the community, because like maybe this is their first bull, and so they've been contacting me all throughout the bear market, saying their concerns and stuff, and then they've situated themselves, and now their portfolio is starting to look green. And so we're talking about where they're positioned and how they feel. So let me share screen. All right, so I will show you the top left. I'll get rid of myself for a second. So you see that I'm at a website called CoinGecko, coingecko.com, and it's a crypto listing website that lists everything based on market cap, where I've got the cursor right now over here on the right side. Today's crypto prices have gone down. Let's see, in the last 2 days, they've gone down a little bit, but they were rising entire like 2 weeks, 3 weeks before that. It's been a pretty bullish month. So here at the top of the list, rated number 1 is Bitcoin, because it's the oldest gold standard of crypto, the dinosaur of crypto, if you will. Largest market cap. And then let's see, they talk about the 24-hour volume. They show the price. They've got a little link to buy. I don't know exactly where that goes, but that's them getting a little bit of the cut off of introducing people to this stuff. And then Ethereum is number 2. And let's see. So let's do a little bit of crypto history. The creator of Bitcoin is unknown. They've kept themselves anonymous. They go by Satoshi Nakamoto. And the number 2 coin is called Ethereum. And one of the founders of that is Vitalik Buterin. I believe he's a Russian. And he is very much still in the game and leading the way in that. You can follow him on Twitter. And then the number 3 on market cap is Tether coin. Tether is called Tether because it's tethered its value to the US dollar. So you can see its ticker is USDT. And so USD, the dollar, right? Number 4 here is XRP. That's a pretty popular coin. I'm just going to skip over my explanation of what that is, but that recently had a huge run up, and it's reached its all-time high again for I think the third time. There for a while, it was much cheaper than what it is now at $2.32. I think all of the ones that I've gone over here on the four you can acquire at simple websites that are like wallet hosting websites like Coinbase, which might be your entry point of getting in touch with what crypto is and what you can do. And I do recommend checking out Coinbase.com. You can acquire. They're such a large company. It's kind of like a too big to fail company. Now, when times are volatile, or when times are volatile, then they might have it to where they'll slow down the process of your transactions. So the thing that we teach in our community is to onboard your USD value, your dollar values in um, uh, through a third party like Coinbase, and go ahead and come over to a more secured personal wallet. And we call that decentralized finance, to where you don't have your money with somebody else. Instead, you have it with yourself. So there are many services that I could mention where you could just one-time buy with a credit card or a debit card, and you could have it set to send the value straight over to the address that you're wanting to use. And so that's your wallet address. And for me to just go ahead and blow your brain out, let me tell you what crypto is like. It's like you're a squirrel hiding your nuts in the lawn. Let's say that a blockchain is your lawn, and you have some value that you want to put in a certain place and maybe hold it for a long time. Then you're like a squirrel going and hiding your nuts in the ground and hoping that no one else will figure out your password in order to find those nuts and move those nuts to a different place to where you can't access them. So I hope that analogy is entertaining to you. But it's just a bunch of code and a perfect system, of course. So it's important to know that there's multiple different blockchains. Bitcoin is a blockchain. Ethereum is a blockchain. Those just happen to be up at the top of this list. And in order to move your nuts from one place to another, you have to pay gas fees, which is the base coin of that blockchain. So gas fees move things, and you pay it in the native currency of that chain. So here's a huge list, and like you've probably been introduced to crypto, there's people can make coins and nonstop make coins. It doesn't cost anything for them to make coins. So there's all sorts of ideas of these coins being created, and a lot of times they don't have any value to them, just speculation, or it's a group of people wanting to produce an idea. But sometimes there's entrepreneurial spirit behind it, and it actually has a point. So I'm not sure how many crypto coins there are, but these websites that list the crypto coins, they need to use some, what do you call it? They need to make sure that they're not introducing BS to people, and so they're not going to just list anything. However, you could just throw them some money, and they might bend the knee to you. While SJ has joined us, she's a gal that grew up in your area, Austin, and as well as in California. She's currently over in California, but she's a great person to get a hold of. You can find her on Twitter at a wild SJ, just like it's spelled here, but without the spaces. And she is inside of the crypto community that I'm introducing you to today. Let's see. Let's go to the next page. Well, actually, let's go all the way to the founder that I want to introduce you to. Let's see. Wild SJ gave us another message down here. This is her handle specifically. And you can pause and take that down. Thanks. So the founder that I found many years ago, whenever I first got into crypto, his name is Richard Heart. He has a website, richardheart.com. This is his YouTube channel, since a lot of us trust YouTube, and it's a popular place. He also has a Twitter handle, which is richardheartwin, W-I-N. And well, I guess it's right here. There's a link to it right here in the middle. So he has been teaching people about decentralized finance, and he warns people about being a custodian of their own coins. And so throughout this crypto evolution progression, it's been very important for us to teach people to take custody of their own coins, because often whenever you're new to crypto, you don't understand the difference between having an account on somebody's website as opposed to having the coins in possession of your private wallet. So if it is in the early days, there are these small time websites. They might have it to where you trust them and you have an account with them. However, they get hacked and there's no remedy to get your coins back. So that's why it's been a huge problem. And then also there's all sorts of sly things that people could do where they tell you when you deposit your coins, then they're going to give you a certain amount of interest, but you have to lock it up for a certain amount of time. And then the website fails in the time period that you have the stuff locked up. So you think, that the account makes it look like, the website makes it look like you're making a lot of paper gains, but you never get your coins back, because it's kind of like a pyramid scheme. They take the money and run. So because of all this stuff, Richard Heart created a token on the Ethereum blockchain that allows you to lock it and earn, but your base of holding is your personal wallet, and you interact with the contract and not a third person. You interact with the code only. Therefore, we call it trustless. We call it immutable. Let's see. We call it a lot of interesting terms that I need to describe, like what they actually mean, because we say it so quickly. Let's watch one of these videos.
What is this hex, you might ask? Hex is a cryptocurrency, albeit a very different type of cryptocurrency. You see, instead of simply spending or trading this cryptocurrency, Hex lets you lock up your money and gain interest on it. We already do this through our banks. It is what the banking industry calls CDs, or certificates of deposit. Customers lock up their wealth for a certain time, and in turn, they grow their wealth by earning interest. But the old school currencies that we lock up in our banks suffer from inflation, which means that while you are gaining interest over time, your money is also losing some of its value. This is where Hex shines. Because Hex is the first high-interest paying cryptocurrency. Hex takes the profit out of banks and government money printing and gives it to Hex holders. Hex is actually designed to increase in value. In fact, the value of a single Hex token has multiplied by more than 80 times within the first handful of months it was launched. Which means the Hex holders not only gained interest, but they also multiplied their existing investment exponentially. And it's only just getting started. What makes Hex even more reliable is the fact that Hex is a trustless peer-to-peer system, which means that there is no central power that controls the system. Everything is powered by the users without any counterparty risk. It's pretty, interesting. To get started, head to hex.com. Links below. Farewell.
All right, so let's actually head over to hex.com. This is what the website looks like. And at the top left, it gives you an idea of what the Hex price is right now. A Wild SJ wants to keep me on my toes. She says, what are paper gains? That's whenever you have unrealized gains. So on paper, it says one thing, but are you actually going to get that in the end? So here on the hex.com website, we've got a link up at the top that's called links. That's a great place for you to get all of the links to everybody in the community, or a lot of people in the community, and a lot of these cool sites. So I think, here's one. If you've got questions about crypto, this hexsearch.io is a great website. Let me show you the URL when I disappear. Okay, hexsearch.io. It looks like a Google search bar. And it says here that there's 186 videos indexed. And the idea is that it will search keywords throughout Richard Hart's videos. You know, if he talked about it, or if it was spoken inside of these interviews that he's done, or these monologues that he's done, then it'll show up here. And it will, like if you put "and" into the search bar, it will show you every one of the videos. So, you know, be specific. But if you have like a certain term that you want to know a little bit more about, it's great. And Richard Hart, he speaks very well, and he doesn't make mistakes on video. So there's a lot to learn in by self-learning with this thing. So I'm glad that I found that link in order to introduce it to you. But back here, here are a few YouTube channels that are recognized as Hexakin YouTube channels. Hexakin meaning these people are involved in Hex, and they typically highlight Hex. Here's a bot on Twitter that you could follow to give you a little bit of updates. And let's see, I'm going to search for some other things that might prompt something to say. So if you want to see my favorite interview from Richard Hart, one of my favorites, to introduce Richard Hart to new folks, this one is one of my favorites. And it comes up whenever you just search YouTube for Richard Hart interview. I believe right here it's the second one. Well, actually, this is just a sponsored promotion. So it's actually the first one that pops up. I think this is a great interview. This is kind of like a down-to-earth, why would somebody who lives in the modern day even care about cryptocurrency or what Richard has done. It's a good one. And I guess if you want to know more about how to stake Hex, then we've got a lot of these YouTubers that can introduce how to stake Hex, as well as some of my old videos. And you would do it through what we call a front end, because that's what interacts with you and doing stuff on the blockchain, using that gas function, right, to make things happen on the blockchain. And so a way to view your portfolio, you could use this hexscout.com. And a way to stake your Hex, you could use apphex.win or go.hex.com. There's plenty of tools in order to stake your Hex. And the idea of staking Hex is to passively earn yield on the Hex that you staked up, that you locked up. So two people that I want to highlight, three people that I want to highlight. Let's start with RH Max. So RH stands for Richard Heart. So Richard Heart Maximalist is what this guy is. And he's got 10,000 subscribers on YouTube, and he's got almost 3,000 videos out. So he might be a great guy for you to follow and understand the Richard Heart ecosystem, the Richard Heart way. I think a lot of his videos are live videos. Please note that here in YouTube, they make it to where videos are recorded videos here on this tab. And then there's shorts, which are those mini short videos, kind of like TikToks. And then live is the live streams. So just looking at it straight up, you would think that videos would cover everything, but it doesn't. Okay. So I covered that. And then other people I wanted to cover. Let's instead bounce over to the blockchain that Richard Heart created. So initially, Richard created the Hex token that allows you to interact with a contract and passively earn yield. And so you acquire the token, you stake it for an amount of time that you decide, and you stake as much as you want also. So you decide how much you want, and you decide how long you want it to go. And it generates an idea of what your returns will be. But what it gives you whenever you stake it, when your stake goes live, it gives you an amount of shares. And based on that amount of shares in the whole program, that's how much passive yield you earn. And so it varies because other people are doing actions as well. They're interacting with the contract as well. So some people falter. Some people lose their keys and never end their stake. Some people, keys meaning passwords, they lose access to their account, their wallet. Some people decide that they want to get out of the system, so they end their stake, and then they face penalties because they ended it too early. Some people come along and stake a lot, and they stake it for a long period of time, so they earn maybe they earn more than you. So the amount of inflation that's created with the contract that is up for grabs based on shares, then those people get more of it than you do because they put more into the system. They got more shares of the system. Now, the way the system works is that there's constantly less and less shares to compete for, and that's what makes the whole thing more valuable. And people have to buy more hex tokens on the market in order to retrieve more of these shares. So that's what keeps the price up, or that's what keeps it valuable. Now, you're always going to have a market that's going up and down. And here at the beginning of this bull market is the reason why I'm doing this specific video that I called bullpen, because I was just thinking, like, this is the time period right now where people are getting their picks in line in order for this blow up that we're all anticipating with crypto. Because out there on the street right now, tons of people are receptive to cryptocurrency right now. Like, I've handed out a lot of cards in the last 3 days. And everybody's been receptive to, like, oh yeah, Bitcoin, I heard about that. Oh yeah, crypto, I've got some in my Robinhood wallet, they'll say. Now, Robinhood, let me point out, Robinhood is one of those third parties where you have an account with them, they have your crypto, and you don't have your crypto until you send it out of that account to your personal custodial wallet. Okay, so Richard initially created the Hex token, and then it was on the Ethereum blockchain. It was a contract on top of the Ethereum blockchain that you could interact with and pay the fees, the gas fees in Ethereum. But since then, he's created his own blockchain, and we call that pulsechain. So this website that I'm showing you right here is called Go Pulse, and it gives you an overview of what's going on pulsechain and the prices of the things on pulsechain. So let me take myself off the screen again and give you an understanding of the URL and the logo. It's a Christmas themed logo right now. Okay. So the gas token on this blockchain is PLS, which is called Pulse, for Pulse chain. Here's the market cap, here's the supply, and here's the price. And our exchange, our main exchange on this blockchain is called PulseX. There are other exchanges, but PulseX is let's see, how do I say this? PulseX has a coin, and it has an architecture to it that makes it to where this could be an investment as well. And for the liquidity of the exchange, there is a incentive token, and that's what this INC token is, INC. And then over here, we have Hex listed, right? So this main price here is the Hex token on pulsechain. And then right where my cursor is, it says including eHex, the price is this, because there's still a hex back on the Ethereum blockchain as well. And then if I scroll down, this gopulse.com website tells us about popular coins on pulsechain blockchain. It talks about wrapped coins, which are native to other chains that have come in. So they've been put over a bridge, and now they're traded on pulsechain. These are bridged assets continuing. And then there's meme coins. So meme coins are like socially popular coins. That's what a meme is. Born on the internet in order to explain a situation. So often these meme coins don't have much to their architecture of like, why does the price relate to other things? Here's stable coins, and stable coins are like that USD tether that I was talking about earlier, where it's pegged 1-to-1 with the US dollar. And so it has assets backing it in order to make sure that it stays 1-to-1. And stable coins are very important. Stable coins make it to where people have trust in a system, because you can move your value into that coin. You can exchange for the stable coin and not lose your value while staying in that coin. So first thing that comes to mind is making a payment, having it to where a coin's not going to dip after you give it to somebody. And then you can say, yeah, I paid you that. Look, the value right there. And also, folks, if you do something on the blockchain, it's recorded. It may not be identified as you doing that unless you raise your hand and say, hey, I'm the owner of this wallet. But it is there for all people to see. So if you eventually identify, like, hey, I did this years ago, then somebody might be able to track back to your wallet. So keep that in mind. So down here at the bottom, we've got forked. And so these forked coins are all ones that used to exist on Ethereum. And then whenever pulsechain was created, it was a fork of Ethereum. So all of these Ethereum coins were created over on pulsechain. And these things lately have been finding a value. The market's going to decide what their value is. And so a lot of these are speculative. And it's quite interesting that, like, in the last month, these things have started to find a value above zero, let's say. And so whenever we're advertising our chain, then we can tell people, hey, did you have anything over there on Ethereum? If you had something on Ethereum a year and a half ago, whenever our chain was launched, then you have value over here on our chain. So you could just plug in the network settings and come over and play. Let's see, what else do I want to talk about? So some guys who have been keeping up with the progress of the pulse chain are these guys, Creative Crypto. I just recently have been watching their videos. Let me take myself off the screen so you can get a better look. So these two guys just have a back and forth, and it's pretty entertaining. Let's see, how many subscribers do they have? They have 4.6 thousand subscribers, and they have almost 1,000 videos. And I think what they do is they create a long video and then they cut it up and release it throughout the week. But what I enjoy is they just have a nice back and forth, and they also have those radio voices. SJ says she falls asleep to them because she's trying to get a lot of them, right? Okay, and then someone else, because we're talking about blockchains, this DCC guy, his DCC stands for dollar cost crypto. And the idea behind dollar cost crypto is no matter if the price is up or down, you're averaging in your buys into crypto. And then also, whenever you're in a bull run market, you don't know where the exact top is going to be. So you could dollar cost crypto out of your value or your holdings of crypto, right? Into maybe the US dollar, which is, your stable US dollar, right? Because that might be what you're paying your daily life expenses with. Even though more and more companies are starting to accept Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies as official payments. But I've enjoyed how here in the bull, we've had it to where like some of these people who have passed through the Hex token community, or maybe they started with the Hex token community, they've come back to do interviews and interact with people who have constantly been Hex. And so this guy is one of those guys. So you'll find in his wallets that he has bought a lot of crypto across the board, and he's made a lot of money in crypto. And it's he's basically like not biased toward any one coin. Instead, he's checking out the market trends. So those meme coins that I was talking about, he stays aware of the meme coins, which is pretty interesting to me because I don't have the patience for it. Because it's a social architecture instead of a technical architecture. Me personally, I like understanding what a coin can do and how it interacts with other ones, and investing in it and waiting time periods for it to appreciate, instead of keeping your eye on a chart and making sure that, oh, if it does this, I have to sell, I have to get out, I would lose money. I can't deal with that. So anyway, let's see, how many subscribers does he have? Well, he has a lot more subscribers than these other guys, right? Because the other guys that I've highlighted here, because this guy is non-biased towards any coin. So a lot of people are interested in what does this guy know? So he has a broader audience in crypto. So he has he has 5,400 videos, and he has 35,000 subscribers. So, and I think he's located in California and in Las Vegas. And he's also like self-made in crypto, because when I was first introduced to him back in the beginning days of Hex, when he talks about it a lot lately, and I'm really happy about that. But in the early days, when I was introduced to him, he was a landscaper, an irrigation installer. So whenever he would come on screen, he was just out of the heat and was running teams of guys installing irrigation all day, which we all know is a headstrong, body strong, what a will to survive job. Let's see, what else do I want to go over? If it is that board games interest you, then I created a puzzle. And you know how AI has been used by a lot of people lately. Well, I got interested in the AI image generators. So I had, I created a wallet, and then the 12 words that open up that wallet, I plugged those into the image generator for Microsoft Image Creator. It's a free one, and it generated an image, and then I put that image on the internet and said, hey, inside of this image are like this image conveys 12 seed words in order to get inside the wallet. And then I put 1,000,000 hex inside the wallet. Whenever I did this, it was $18,000 worth of hex. This is P hex. This is hex on the pulsechain network. So it gets eyes onto hex, and it also gets eyes onto pulsechain. Whenever we had this bear market, the price went down to possibly like $11,000 worth. And now, since this bull has picked up a little bit and we've seen some green candles, the price this last week went up to $30,000 worth of hex. So it might be interesting to you to check this out. This is the web page that I created for it. I will take myself off the screen again so you can look at it. So the URL is defypuzzle.xyz. Hyperlinked up here at the top is the wallet address so that it's nice and easy for you to get to. I've got an FAQ and the homepage. I guess I'll just accept those cookies. I'm sorry that it says accept the cookies. As you can see, I did the cheapest thing website, GoDaddy free from the website fee that I'm paying, just the standard $20 a year sort of thing. I don't know when this thing's going to get hacked. The game's over whenever the wallet's drained. I won't even know. Like, I have no rules to the thing except for I'm just releasing on the Twitter account. I'm releasing clues every once in a while. So hashtag DeFi puzzle clue. But all of the files, in order to understand, let's see, the 2 posters here in order to pass on the idea that this puzzle exists, and then the main image can be downloaded here, and then some useful links like understanding how wallets work. With these seed phrases, there's a total of 2,048 possible words. Now, these 12 words, none of them are repeated. That's important to know. I guess I need to update the puzzle clues, maybe. But it introduces Richard Heart down here. And I've got some business cards in order to introduce people to pulsechain, into hex, into this DeFi puzzle game. So I also created this website. I'll take myself off the screen. That's mailhex.xyz. This too has a Twitter account. And the idea here is that I'll gladly send you some of these things. These are bumper stickers, business cards. There was a fake tattoo there. I don't have those anymore. Maybe some magnets I'll still have on hand. But the idea is just for people, boots on the ground. I could send you maybe like 13 to 15 different things, or not different things, but a whole handful of stuff to where you could have conversations, boots on the ground, whenever it is that you get enthused about this stuff. Mr. Dolo says, I just want to know if I'm reading the card images left to right or right to left. If you're talking about the DeFi puzzle, there is not an order encoded into the imagery, which means it's probably best to be able to break the code with a machine, where if you have the right 12 words, then the machine will open up the wallet. So that's like a design failure that I did on accident. So for precedence, back in 2015, a lady had 5 Bitcoin that she put behind an image that she painted. So she actually encoded the order, like symbolically she had the words, and then she somehow encoded the order of those 12 words. And so it was 5 Bitcoin. Well, back then 5 Bitcoin was maybe like $2,500. But in 2017, 5 Bitcoin was worth $100,000. So that generated a lot of interest. And within like 6 months to 8 months, somebody cracked the code and took the 5 Bitcoin. And so I used that as precedence, but I also used Microsoft AI generator to generate this image. And there was no way for me to encode, the order. Now, that's why I'm giving you clues with the official Twitter account handle that is DeFi_puzzle. So yeah, you can get a hold of me in order for me to send you out this stuff. I'm very open about where I am. I'm over here in downtown Georgetown, Texas. That's the home of Southwestern University and 20 miles north of Austin. And that's why I'm reaching out to the Austin folks. And then as we're talking about the wallet, here is the inside of the wallet. It has a little bit over $27,000 worth. Like I said, it reached 30,000 just recently, which was hooray, a milestone. And then one thing that I've been telling people is if you were to deposit a coin that you enjoy or your project yourself into this wallet, it's going to be front and center for people to see. And so this guy right here, Super Staker, he put 15,555 of his coin in here. And that's a pretty cool coin because it passively earns other coins and deposits them into the wallet that holds the initial coin. So just because I have this many or DeFi puzzle, possibly you have this many of this coin in here, then all these other coins start trickling in. Now, over here on the right side, you'll see that a lot of them are less than a penny in value. But some of these are valuable things, like this time token, this incognito, which I don't know much about, but as I understand it, it earns ink by you holding it. This forked die here, and the Pulse coin, because Pulse is the gas token, it's the blockchain. So there's quite a bit of Pulse coin in here. It's currently worth a little bit less than $4, but we're getting ready for the bull. And so we're thinking that things are about to heat up real nicely. So yeah, if y'all have a project that you like a lot, like I was in the Rob token Twitter spaces earlier today, and he actually said that he was going to outdo Staker. He was going to like do $300 worth of Rob. So I sent him a screenshot of what's in there and said, I don't see it yet. I know you're working on it. So we'll see. So I think that's it for the things that I wanted to go over. Oh, let's go back to Hex Daily Stats. One of the first websites for Hexicans. This is called hexdailystats. Let's see, hexdailystats.com. hex.today. I'm sorry, hexdailystats.com is now at the URL hexstats.today. And it gives you a rundown of the stats on Ethereum and pulsechain separately. Because even though it's the coin that has, or a token that has the same name on both blockchains, the contract is actually working separately. So if you go and you stake Ethereum hex on Ethereum, then you'll get the shares for that, and you'll get the shares will generate you a different yield than if you staked the pulsechain hex on pulsechain, which would then present you with whatever shares and whatever yield. And right now we speak in terms of T shares, because T shares stand for 1 trillion shares. And in the future, we might speak in billions of shares or millions of shares, or just shares themselves. But right now, to make it simple, we speak in T shares, trillions of shares. So every day, the amount of yield that you earn per your T share is right here. So this is on the Pulse chain, and this one's on the Ethereum. Ethereum today per T share, they earned 7.384 hex. And then per T share on Pulse chain, they earned 7.192 hex. And then if you wanted to backlog and look at what were the stats like yesterday, or what were the stats a week ago, then it's all listed here. And then keep in mind over here on the left side, it's got the day numbers, because the way that we keep track of all this stuff is based on the day, not, well, we do have the date right next to it, but the day since the contract went live. So whenever it is that you stake your hex tokens, then you'll recognize what day is it that you staked, how many days, how many exact days do you want to stake it out for? And then it'll tell you, okay, this one's going to mature on, day 2001, when you stake it from today, which is day 1836. And then up in the top right, we've got the UTC clock, because that's when the day ticks over. So when you stake your hex, it won't go live until that clock ticks over to 00. And then it'll go live. So now I want to talk about like how people are preparing for the bull. So I've been in communication with some people that they bought hex at whatever time, and maybe they bought during the bear as we were coming out of a bull. They were buying as we were going down. They were DCAing, and then maybe they like slowed down at the bottom of the bull, and maybe they staked some hex, and it started accumulating. Their yield started accumulating, and they're like breaking even now, and so they're getting pretty optimistic. Let's see. I thought this was going to be easier to go over, but I'm sitting here looking at personal messages, and I'm wondering like, okay, what should I actually reveal or go over? But yeah, this guy says like S&P, NASDAQ, Bitcoin, all looking great. Richard Hart, Hex Chain, or Pulse Chain, Pulse X, moving in right direction as well. The SEC hearing. He says that he's hearing that there's a lot of money on the sidelines, and when Bitcoin hits 100K, we should see a lot of movement upwards. And then my next message to him was, it hit 100K. That just happened recently. So a lot of you folks might be new to crypto and heard that Bitcoin finally reached 100K, and there's going to be some biasness to that amount, that dollar amounts. Like some people are going to think, oh, well, now it topped out, or 105. Oh, it topped out then. Because there's just these price points that people have in their head of like, okay, when it hits this, I'm out, or I'm going to take some profits. And that's why the price slows down. But this entire time, the TV and radio are lying to you about the potential of crypto, and then they flip-flop whenever it is that they've got all of their positions that they want. So keep that in mind. They're not going to tell you until they've already positioned themselves what to get into. He says, going in the right direction. Trump's administration may help us. We will see. And Trump's administration does seem like they're bullish. We're sitting here at December 10th. Trump has won the election, and he won't be brought into office until January. But a lot of economics are bullish. Let me see if I can switch over to another guy. This is where I had a lot to say. The last guy, he knows quite a bit. He keeps track of a lot of things with traditional finance. But this guy, he's over in France or moving around Europe, I believe. And he says, I tried to tell all my friends over so much time. Only one friend really listened, invested hard. This person's amazing. Everyone else is going to buy in when the giant green candles arrive. Do you have similar experiences? And I say, I think I experienced that when Hex started. I have calmed down since then. Friends have recognized me as a guy that chose the right crypto, the overnight success in their eyes, even though it took years. Now I realize that there are people searching to place money into good things, and most of them I don't run into on a daily basis. It's just a numbers game. Some people are on the same tune. Most people are not. You are frustrated because you want financial success for them. That shows you are a caring person. The best thing you can do is maximize your financial prosperity for yourself. Continue your friendships with them and shed some of your wealth responsibly when doing things with them in the future. You never want to be the guy clicking the financial buttons that would for them. That would require you to always providing updates and owning explanations. Treat this more like a parent raising a child, teaching responsibility when the threshold comes about naturally. Yeah. So we're all getting prepared for the bull market. And I've been saying this for, I don't know, I guess the last 3 months, is get yourself in order, get yourself organized, figure out how much you want to um, take chances on in the meme coin space, because people are going to be interested in the small cap meme coins, hoping that they're going to kick off, and then make sure that you have, in my opinion, a majority in some safe, good architecture coins, like this space where Richard Heart is, that Richard Heart has created for us. I don't like to give people price predictions. When you stake hex, you earn hex, and the system is really transparent. Now, what the price of that hex on the open market is going to be whenever it comes down time for you to take some profits, we don't know. But I can always tell you, I trust the hex contract. It hasn't been hacked. I don't think it will be hacked. I think it will be good and true to you. So what people are doing is they're diversifying into these main coins, the pulsechain coin, the pulsex coin, the hex coin. And then right now, we don't exactly understand what the architecture of this incentive token is. And I think the reason to that is because Richard, like other crypto founders, have had to deal with some government stuff lately. And so the SEC has created a lawsuit against Richard, and things were kind of scary at the beginning inside the community. All of us guys who were just following the coattails of somebody else, we were not really like fearful, but we were hesitant there in the beginning. But now, after court appearances of Richard's lawyers with the SEC, we now understand that the judge is saying that there's not much, if any, meat on the bone for the SEC to sue Richard Heart. So things are looking great, and the sentiment is awesome here at the start of this bull market, this anticipated bull market. Going forward, I'm assuming that there's going to be less ups and downs with Bitcoin and cryptocurrency. Like, maybe these small coins will continue to attract people to create them and gamble upon them, but the more stronghold, or the larger coins that have a much larger market cap going forward, I think will sort of have it to where their ups and downs will level out a little bit more, instead of going up and down 85%. So that's my opinion. And like I say, I'm over here in Georgetown, north of you people in Austin. This is meant to be an outreach to the people in Austin to let them know about Richard Heart and the ecosystem that he's created. Cool. Yeah, see, people like this here, Kirby Lucerio, is saying that we reached the top and that we're expecting 3 years of bear market already. So there's all sorts of opinions on where everything is. And is Bitcoin going to lead the way? Like, maybe Bitcoin has reached its top or is slowing down now, and Ethereum is starting to gain popularity and funds and market cap. And maybe their market cap surpasses Bitcoin's market cap because of its offerings and functionality and architecture. And then after Ethereum has its flow, maybe people's finances, their value flows into other coins like this pulsechain ecosystem and the coins that are native to it. And then other things that are found on Coinbase and Robinhood. So think about what's at people's fingertips and how people are hungry. So during Thanksgiving, a lot of people had conversations with their family members and caught up and told them about what it is that they're investing in or just dibble dabbling in. So if you go and you look at Google Trends, you'll see that 3 days before Thanksgiving, right when people were in commute and people were arriving, the first topics that they were talking about were cryptocurrency. Check out Google Trends. It shows you that. Now we're sitting here in between Thanksgiving and Christmas. What do you think is going to happen during Christmas? The same thing. So, and then what is that saying? Sell in May, go away. So people are going to be putting their money in places probably until the beginning of the summer, and then they'll be back in the fall. And whenever I first got into crypto, it was during a bull market season. Like I had heard about crypto a lot, but when I got in, it was a bull market season or a bull market year, and it had risen in the fall, and that's what got my attention. But Kirby's here saying a lot of these coins already did a lot of X's. You're right. Whenever it is that you diversify and take chances, you might get some of these early X's, and then their chart looks great now, and it can probably only go a few more X's above here. Maybe. I don't know where you came from, Kirby. I don't know if I've seen you before. I've seen a lot of Dolos before, so I'm guessing I know that guy. Hey, Conspiracy Crypto is in San Antonio. Sweet. Yeah, us Texas people, we're starting to come around. If you would like to, you could join the t.me/Hex Texas group on Telegram. All right, so for the sake of time, respecting everybody's time, I think I'm out of here. I hope the explanation has been good. We're at 1 hour and 8 minutes. And as SJ says, this has been long awaited and well-deserved. Exactly. I'm attempting to be a pillar, a column, I think I had a better word, a Dow in the mud. Attempting to hold the space so that people can understand what has been and what is now and what we're expecting or anticipating in the future. Whenever this bull comes around and makes it to where everybody's prosperous, then I will feel vindicated and quite happy in the position that I've held for so long. SJ also says Texas and PNW, I guess that's Pacific Northwest, are 2 active Hex communities. So yeah, if you guys are up in Washington and Oregon and Northern California and Idaho, maybe even Missoula area of Montana, you might join that Pacific Northwest. And then SJ is the positivity princess. Sweet. Thanks, everybody. I'll see y'all later. Bye.